Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So in today's video, I bring you guys loot from 3,000 Dagannoth Kings, and at first I wanted to do this video individually, 1,000 of each boss in its own video. However, I decided that why not just kill 1,000 of every single Dagannoth King and make it 3,000 overall, so you guys get the best of every single king themselves, and maybe, just maybe, we can get a pet during this video, seeing as that we're going to be killing so many of them. And since prior to making this video my Dagannoth King KC was already over 8,000 and we still to this day had not gotten any pet, that would be the main goal for this video. But putting pets aside, I did also have the diaries completed so that every single Dagannoth King that we were going to be killing throughout this video would drop me noted bones, as well as the awesome drop rate of all of the rings that you can get here. I knew that no matter what would happen with the pets, I was still going to be making a lot of money, and it would definitely be a great video ahead. So with all that being said, before we get into today's video, 3,000 Dagannoth Kings, we do have some words from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. So let's go ahead and get into that. So for those who don't know, Raid Shadow Legends is a brand new collection RPG game that is taking the mobile gaming landscape by storm. Almost 10 million players worldwide have already downloaded Raid in just 3 months. With great graphics, strategic gameplay, huge boss fights, an amazing storyline with over 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize, it's definitely not hard to understand why Raid is such a loved game. My favorite champion personally is Gaelic because he's kind of built like a tank, and he also reminds me a little bit of Bandos. But no matter what champion you choose, the detail is insane and there's definitely something for everyone. What I also love about this game is that there's so many different things you can do and get attached to, such as collecting characters, exploring the deep storyline, or simply enjoying the amazing graphics. I personally love collecting as many characters as I can so that I always have a new champion to build on and always have a different champion to use in battle. Now, this game is free to play, and you can also enjoy PvP battles in the arena, PvE, and dungeons, and cool, huge boss fights. Personally, I do think this game is amazing, but you don't have to take my word for it. With almost 200,000 reviews, Raid has almost a perfect score on the Play Store. The game is definitely growing super fast, and the highly anticipated new update is now live, and there's also a new awesome loyalty reward program for new players. You can get a daily login reward for the very first 90 days in game. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description below and click on the special links, and you'll instantly get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion within a week as part of the new player program to start your journey. Good luck, and I will see you there. And as always, a huge thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. They are awesome, and I really do appreciate it. Right, so here we are, 3,000 Dagannoth Kings. This is the start, and let me tell you, it will go by quicker than you can imagine. So let's get started. We have a lot to talk about for this video. So first things first, in order to get here, you always have to remember those two important things, one of them being the pet rock and the other one being the rune throwing axe. Got to bring that pet rock to balance another stone in order to open a door to reach the, well, I guess one of the many rooms that you have to go through to get to Dagannoth Kings. And of course, you have to bring that rune throwing axe to break down another door in order to go down a ladder to reach these Dagannoth Kings. So make sure to always bring those two items. They are very important, especially if you're soloing. And as you can see in our very first soloing trip, we did actually get a warrior ring. Didn't take too long. Currently at a price of 63k, so it is the least expensive ring that you can get down here from these Dagannoth Kings. And of course followed by the second least valuable rare, that being the dragon axe, currently as the making of this video goes at a price of 80k. So, not a great start, but those two items just kind of give you a basic idea of some of the rare drops that you can get from these Dagannoth Kings. You can also get some uncommon drops such as dragon med helms, hard clue scrolls, as well as elite clue scrolls. And we did save every single casket from every single elite and every single hard clue scroll during this video for the end, so you guys will see alongside all of the drops, all of the clue scroll caskets being opened at the end of the video as always. And some more uncommon drops, you know, those being Seer Coal, one of the most useless ranged weapons in the game. I believe the special attack on that Seer Coal is used to lower an opponent's magic level, so I think it's used in Castle Wars or some things like that. Our second ring coming in not too long after the first one, and that being, of course, Warrior Ring number 2. And the only thing worse than 2 Warrior Rings is 3 Warrior Rings. So yeah, the first 3 all being the worst of them all. But again, I wasn't too caught up in that. You know, there's a lot of Dagannoth King kills to go, and you know, this was the very start. So the first 500 kills wasn't looking too good, but the next 100 were looking much better. As you can see, we did finally get that Archer's Ring, 600 kills into the video off of Dagannoth Supreme. And the Archer's Ring is the most valuable ring that you can get down here, currently at a price of over 5 mil. Of course, we did actually die right after we got the ring, but that was just to bless our RNG for the next trip where we got our second Archer's Ring. So that was nice to see. But yeah, just a reminder, you know, if you're ever going to be doing Dagannoth Kings, always try to prioritize Protect from Magic. And the reason you want to prioritize Protect from Magic is because Prime's max hit with magic is a 50, and the attack speed is relatively fast. So if your prayer isn't up in time, you can get hit twice before you know it, and most of the time you will die. And a 50 is a pretty big hit to tank, even with an Elysian Spirit Shield. And seeing as how Dagannoth Supreme's max hit is a 30, and Dagannoth Rex's max hit is a 26, you can kind of always assume that Prime is the most dangerous of the 3, even though it has the worst drops of the 3. Back on the subject of drops though, just around 700 kills into the video, we did receive every single ring, the last one being Berserker, which is at a current price of 3.5 to 3.6 mil, and we did actually get an Archer's Ring in the very same inventory of that Berserker ring, so felt pretty lucky for that one. You know, anytime you get multiple rings in one inventory, it's definitely a good feeling, because most of the time the price check for that inventory will always be over 10 mil if you get more than, you know, the right rings, so it's always nice to see that. And overall, the price of these rings is pretty steady. You know, Seer's Ring is just at 450k, and it is dropped by Prime. Warrior Ring and Berserker Ring are both dropped by Rex, and the Archer's Ring is dropped by just Supreme. As well as getting all of these elite clue scrolls as well as hard clue scrolls. You know, I always had something to do after I would bank, and on average I would bank just about every 100 to 130 kills per inventory, which I wouldn't say is too bad while soloing, especially off task. You know, the Elysian as well as the Sang staff definitely did come in handy for soloing trips, and what the Elysian would do is essentially absorb any damage that I would be taking from all the small little minions that do guard this area all in the water. I don't know how to pronounce their name. I believe it's Spinope or Spinope or something. And also, anytime I did mess up my spawns or I didn't kill a Dagannoth King fast enough and I would get double teamed by either Rex or Supreme and Prime, flicking that Elysian after every single hit would be really useful, and I would tank a lot, and therefore I would rarely ever die here. So that Elysian really did come in handy. And the reason that I brought the Sang staff was because anytime that I would kill Rex, I would usually freeze it just a few times, and then the Sang staff would kill it, and all of the hits that I would use with the staff would actually replenish my HP almost to full every single kill. So that would help me out a lot, and if that wouldn't get the job done, then I would use my Ceridome and Godsword special attack on Supreme, and there you go. Essentially never needed food throughout all of these 3,000 kills, all because of the gear that you bring. So it is important to choose your gear wisely and your weapons wisely while killing DKs. You can always customize what you bring and what you use, but it is all to extend your trip and be as efficient as you can, so it's something to keep in mind. And the Serpentine helmet was used because, again, I wasn't on Slayer task, so there was no reason to use a Slayer helmet for this video, and I was actually unable to get poisoned throughout this whole entire video because of that Serpentine helmet, although I did have to spend some extra Zora scales just to ensure that I could have it equipped throughout the start to the finish. But as the saying goes, you have to spend money to make money, and the proof is in the picture. 2 Berserker rings as well as 2 Archer rings and 1 inventory. Pretty sure this took less than 90 minutes to do this one individual trip, and I made just over 17 mil from it. So although you're going to be spending a lot in supplies, you know, blood runes and and darts and Zulrah scales, potions, and all this and all that, you will always profit. So just keep that in mind, don't let all the supplies demotivate you. And even if you have really bad luck as it pertains to getting any rings, just keep in mind if you do have the Elite Fremennik Diaries done, which I did have before starting this video, then every single time you kill a Dagannoth king, all of the bones from every single king will be noted, and they are over 8,000 GP each, and you will also profit just by picking up the bones, even if you get no rings and no rares and no clue scrolls. So yeah, that's actually nice to know that, no matter what, you will profit, but you do have to invest a lot of time into doing those diaries. And just a side note about the inventory, if you are maxed and you are soloing, then it is recommended to bring an imbued heart as well as 2 super combats, 2 range pots, and then the rest of your inventory should be super restores. Now, if you are on Slayer task and you're not equipping a Serpentine helmet, which a lot of people are because most people do Dagannoth Kings while they're on Slayer task, unless you're like an Iron Man or something, then I would recommend that you bring Sandfew serums instead of super restores. Essentially, they act as a super restore, but they also cure poison, and you do consistently get poisoned down here, so that is something to keep in mind. These Dagannoth Kings also do drop food occasionally. I believe you get some swordfish drops as well as some bass drops, but not too often, so you can't rely on the food. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope that this was somewhat informative, somewhat entertaining, and quite a lot of drops to show you guys. So first things first, we are going to be opening all of the clue scroll caskets, those hard clues and those elite clues, and then I will show you guys a massive Dagannoth King drop tab, 3,000 kills, 1,000 Rex, Supreme, and Prime. And of course, we did track all of the kills through the noted bones, but also just to clarify, we can check the Ring of Wealth boss log and see that we did actually kill 1,000 Rex, Prime, and Supreme. The numbers speak for themselves, averaging about 80 kills per hour. This did take about 40 hours to do, just the PVM itself, and then another 5 hours for all of these clue scrolls because I still don't use Runelight. So yeah, not too bad. A total of 23 hard caskets and 5 elite caskets. Wasn't really expecting too much. I also made the decision not to do the master clues for this video, mainly because, I dragged this one out for another week, and I just really wanted to get this uploaded as soon as I could, so I just didn't want to do any master clues. I do apologize. But something cool that we did pick up was an Armadil D'hide Shield, which was the best clue scroll reward out of all of these hard caskets. Kind of a spoiler there, but you guys know this series pretty well by now. These clue scrolls never really have paid off just yet. I think to date, the most impressive clue scroll reward from this loot series so far as it pertains to the hard clues has been a Robin Hood hat. So yeah, not any third age pieces yet. No master clue pet either from any of the masters that we've done, but I still have hope, so I guess we'll see in the future if that changes. And now we are left with the elite caskets, 5 of these to open, and you guys can probably assume what I get. A whole lot of nothing, but these elites, one of these days, like I said, third age longsword, it'll happen. I really do believe that. Overall though, even though our best item was that Armadil Shield, which was 1.6 mil, I do believe we actually made anywhere from 3 to 5 mil from all these clue scrolls, so I guess it was worth doing all of them. I always know that, clue scroll clips certainly never hurt a video, and, it is extra profit on top of whatever else you get. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the Dagannoth King loot, 3,000 kills to price check. The very first price check, all of the ores, the knives, the arrows, these are the drops that you really don't see too much of during the video, but they certainly do add up over time. 5.7 mil. That is certainly not too bad for just the basic normal drops that you can expect here. Those U logs definitely add up over time, as well as the dragon axes. And the second price check, really just wanted to go for the basic armor that you get, kind of low tier melee armor that these Dagannoth Kings drop, as well as the 3,000 bones. It does come out to be just about 25.6 mil. So we go ahead and we add the 25.6 on to the 5.7, and that leaves just one calculation, one price check remaining. All of the Archer rings, Berserker rings, Seers rings, and Warrior rings. Third and final price check, if you're gonna get the most of one ring, it is certainly good that it was Archers for me. The RNG was in our favor, and ladies and gentlemen, this price check, the last one, all the rings do come out to be just about 79.9 mil. So if we go ahead and we add up that 79.9 mil to the 31.3 mil from the 2 other previous price checks, then the the overall loot from 3,000 Dagannoth Kings does come out to be 111.2 mil. And subtracting all of the supplies that we used, all of the blood runes, the Zora scales, the adamant darts, the death runes, the water runes, and potions, we can subtract just about 21 mil in supplies. So that leaves us with just about 90 mil profit from 45 hours of killing Dagannoth Kings. Therefore, over 2 mil profit an hour, and all of it was done off task. No pet was achieved, but we did get a lot of rings, and I was really enjoying myself every single hour of this video. So yeah, I really do appreciate you guys watching it. Let me know what you want to see killed in the next video. I do actually have 2 in the making right now. One of them is 3,000 undead druids, and the other one is a surprise. So I'll see you guys in about 3 to 4 days with some new videos. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.